I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact. Give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious. I'ma go cause something, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame. Yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, I'll live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life. I don't really know what comes next. I'm just doing my best, even though I'm so stressed out. Everything just feels like a test that I fail, so depressed when I can't seem to get out. But something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Fuck your lies, I'll do what I want. The gas in the back of the set, never left. She's so bad that the can't hit the bag. The gas in the back of the set, never left. She's so bad that the can't hit the bag. The gas in the back of the set, never left. She's so bad that the can't hit the bag. The gas in the back of the set, never left. She's so bad that the can't hit the bag. I'm inspired by thirst, I'm inspired by worth. I desire your worst, so you can just hide while I work. I ain't tired, you first. I'll write a second, third verse about the lies you go disperse. You never did shit, I know it hurts. Something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Fuck your lies, I'll do what I want. The gas in the back of the set, never left. She's so bad that the can't hit the bag. The gas in the back of the set, never left. She's so bad that the can't hit the bag.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. I'm just getting my co-host on here. Let me see if I can get him on here. Adam should be coming on hopefully soon here. Let me make sure it works here. All right, text him. Hopefully he'll get on here momentarily. Started it, so he should have the link to get in here momentarily, ladies and gentlemen. Go back to the main hosting screen. There we go. My name is Ray Cruz. Welcome to the All Sports, All Plays College Breakdown Show, the premier football college breakdown on all of television and social media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, you name it, you got it. It's also going to be on Roku, Apple TV later on week. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a great, tremendous day. We got a lot of stuff going on here in college football. We're going to break down the latest news, break down the latest segment. We have a total of 52 games today. 52 games today, and we will break them all down here today, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get started, we need to go and run some college football news here on the All Sports, All Plays. What's coming down the wire here? Yeah, the latest news here in college football and the latest news going around the thing is Buffalo safeties. Deion Sanders' son, the safety, is doubtful against USC today. That's going to be a big blow for the secondary for the Colorado Buffaloes against a strong USC team. We'll be breaking that later on today. Pittsburgh starting quarterback Jurnovic against the Hokies will be starting. Georgia, Alabama linebacker Lawson could miss this week's game. Missouri Cook and Burton will play, sources says. Tucker, we know the situation at Michigan State University. Mel Tucker of a wrongful termination lawsuit is coming. Let's see, number 25 prospect, the 24 class picks A&M. And Hunter hangs out with CSU, Colorado State University, Blackburn from the outbreaks of that game. So Hunter, it was news that Hunter and them went bowling. Him and Blackburn went bowling, hanging out, showing a good time. We got a picture on ESPN.com. You can go and look at that. Latest news here. And the big thing, if you love him or hate him, Deion Sanders isn't slowing down. That is one of the key aspects of the games here today. So I'm just waiting on my co-host to get in here. And once he gets in here, there he goes. We'll be bringing him on. He is Who's the Blame Podcast. The man, the myth, the legend. Hey, man, this guy does it all. He is very smooth, clean, and he's got the Florida Gator chomp going. My boy, Ray Montez. Get him. Let me see if I can get him on here. I don't know why he's not working on it. He's not working on any of them. Hold on. Go to stream. There we go, buddy. The floor is all yours.
What's going on, big guy? How we doing, folks? College football Saturday here with the college football breakdown. How we doing, good people? Let's go Gators. Let's go Gators.
All right, we bring you both up on the screen here. Huh?
Little shake-up last night.
Oh, yeah, it was a little shake-up. Utah went down. Utah went down.
Buddy. Yeah, buddy. Leave it to the Beavers. Ward, I think you're a little hard on the Beaver last night.
Yeah, right now, this week so far, you're up by one game. I'm 5-2. You're 6-1 so far after Thursday and Friday night football for this week. But the big thing is we're gonna be coming down here. Let's go ahead and let's check that out here. Did I put it in here? I didn't put the pick 'em in here again. Hold on, let me run a scene real quick. Get the pick 'em in here. Add a scene. All right, let's see here. I didn't put the pick 'em in. I'll go ahead and run the pick 'em off here. I thought I put it in here, but I didn't put it back in. So why? But let me get it real quick here, and I'll put it up on the.
What'd you do?
I forgot to put the pick 'em in here. I'm bringing it up right now. All right, I'll just go read it off real quick. I got 246 wins to 73 losses.
Okay.
And you got 242 wins and 77 losses. You're still 4 games behind, but you're catching up. You moved up a game.
I'm catching up.
Moving up a game slowly, but you're moving up a game. You were 5
All I
games
need is a
behind.
chance.
Now you're 4 games behind. So
All I need is a chance, Daddy.
So there you go. That's the status of our college pick'em for that week.
Okay.
And then the AP Top 25 here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring you into that team here. Here, my AP Top. There you go. That is the AP Top 25. Fresno State enters the top 25. So does Kansas. So does Missouri at number 23. So there
Who's
you
the
go.
bird?
That is your 3 people that was not ranked last week has moved into the top 25. Fresno State at number 25, Kansas at number 24, and Missouri at number 23.
I should get ranking for them.
So there you go. I've updated the rankings there. You can see it on your screen live here and profiling on the All Sports All Plays Network. Let me make sure our feed is working here. Is working? So we all working there. We got it all straightened out there. So my friend, there you go. That's the old one. I forgot to update it.
Okay.
These here. Hold on a second. Update real quickly. You bring it out of here. Pictures. We're gonna do editing on the fly again. Editing on the fly. Or editing on the fly, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. That's the updated one right there, bud.
Okay.
There we go. Updated it? Yep, there we go. We got it all updated. See? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got it all straightened down here. We're going to get ready. We're going to take a commercial break real quick. Our commercial breaks will be after every 4 games that we pick with a little bit of rapid fire in between so we can get our breaks in, so we can get the old man happy. So, you know.
You're hilarious.
Yeah, I know. Gotta make it fun for everybody. Yeah. And we're gonna get back for the college breakdown section. And we're gonna go and before we go on break real quick, I'm gonna ask you a couple questions here. How big a blow is the safety Deion Sanders' son is not playing? Could be doubtful against USC. How big a blow is that for Colorado?
You know, I don't know if many people watch the Arizona State USC game. And if that USC team shows up, I don't think it's going to be an issue. As a defensive-minded coach that really pays attention to the secondary, I think when he made that comment that he's 6 to 8 guys short, That's collectively as a whole. But I think considering what USC showed me last week against Arizona State, I think they're going to be fine because it's just the middle of the field that USC likes to utilize. It's not like they're 100% healthy either.
Yeah, it's crazy how this stuff is going on and stuff like that.
The
But
injury bug is no joke, man.
yeah, it's
The injury bug is like OLD. When that kick in, there's nothing you can do about it.
Right, college football is looking at like a little bit of a thing here of injury bugs going around. So like Pittsburgh quarterback and got knocked out of that Carolina game. Now and they saying he's going to start against the Hokies. They're going to go into Lane Stadium under Sandman, so that's going to be a part of the games that we're going to break down too. How about Missouri? What's the status of Missouri? You live in St. Louis. The big word of Missouri going into the rankings at number 23. What is the buzz around the area that you live in for the Missouri Tigers?
The quarterback Cook and Luther Burton are like the biggest issues with the team, and their defensively sound and minded coach as well. That's a good question too for the MIZ-ZOU fan base here. And there was a good win by them here at the Dome over Memphis. Everybody showed up and showed out. But those are the two key elements for Mizzou: Cook and Luther Burton. Those are the two driving machines of that Mizzou football team. And open up against today in SEC play against Vandy. I don't think it's going to be an easy win, but I'd rather them open up against Vandy than anybody else going to the SEC play.
Yeah, and then we got the lawsuit of Mel Tucker and MSU going on with the wrongful termination lawsuit. I don't know how that case is going to work out.
Right.
Because what's going on there in that situation, we don't really get into it here. It's just
right.
Unbelievable what's going on up there. But basically, that's all the news that we had going on. So we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break. This is the All Sports, All Plays College Breakdown. I am Ray Cruz. This is Dre Montez. We'll be right back after these.
All Sports, All Plays. All Sports, All Plays. All Sports, All Plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, they're down in the lane. Variety, confidence, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Race at the field, so type the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
This is the Fonx D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at fonxdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to All Sports, All Plays College Breakdown. I am Ray Cruz, and Dre will be right back momentarily. Let's get this stuff here. We're going to get them started here. We got them on the camera. We got them on the thing. There we go. We got them back. What's up, man?
What's
all right,
up, my man?
This is our first game of the week that we're going to go ahead for this Saturday at 12 o'clock on the Big Ten Network. It is number 6, Penn State. Nittany Lions versus the Northwestern Wildcats. Wildcats got a big victory last week. Penn State coming in here at ranked number 6. They look like they've been cruising here. They beat Illinois. So now let's talk about this game here. What is the big question mark for Penn State to take that next level into that college playoffs?
I think what Penn State needs is a very convincing win. Not a troubling win, but a win that makes sense for a Penn State type team. That defense is where it needs to be at. The offense understands it. The special teams get it. Collectively, I like the Nittany Lions, the way they're looking this year. But it's not a big win, but I think it's a win that they need to handle early. Don't let them linger around.
Yeah, if you look at Northwestern coming in last week, they lost to Duke 38-14. They beat Minnesota 37-34 in overtime. Penn
Right.
State came in and beating Illinois, and then they clobbered Iowa 31-0 up in Happy Valley. So this game is on the road. The last road game they had was against Illinois, which they won 30-13 in Champaign. Right now, their offense is being smoking. They pretty much even balance on between Northwestern. They got the same passing yards on offense, 239.8 per game. But what kills everybody else, Penn State, is also rushing over 210 yards a game to Northwestern 98. So if you look at the defense for Penn State's defense has only allowed 138 yards passing per game and only 81.5 yards rushing per game. But Northwestern defense is giving up 187.5 and passing 184.5 yards rushing.
Right.
So how does Northwestern counteract the balance? You can't really say too much because last year Penn State wasn't this balanced. Penn State was passing and not running the ball effectively, but they're balanced this year. They're 239 yards passing, 210 yards rushing. But how does Northwestern defense counteract that? Because they're giving up 187.5 passing, 184.5 yards rushing. So,
I mean, the key for Northwestern to win this game just to understand that Penn State from history. But how is your team better than them? You gotta slow Penn State down. So that's time of possession. That's minimizing the penalties and cut down on mistakes, which is hard to do in college football, especially when teams like Northwestern and Penn State know each other. I mean, this is not unfamiliar territory. This is familiar territory. They know each other very, very well. And the tendencies are right there in front of you. So who's going to be more tenacious on defense or offense? I guess that it's going to come up to the timing of the game. If Northwestern has a shot at this game, it's going to be early in the game. It will not be in the second half because Penn State is a great second half team. It's like they regroup and rebound in the second half better than anybody.
yeah, if you look at some situations that goes on in that hand too, if you look at some of the stuff that we have seen here, I mean, this game is going to be played at Northwestern. It's going to be 66 degrees in Evanston, Illinois. Penn State's favored by 26.5. The over and under is 47. That's by Caesar Sportsbook. Capacity crowd is going to be about 47,130. If that's going to be a lot of people there, I don't know, because of the season that Northwestern having. Maybe that win might give them some big hope. Right now, we don't know how that's going to play out here. Let's take a look here. Some information here that I can get to. Penn State leads the series 15-5. What is at stake?
Right.
Penn State has won 9 straight, all by at least 14 points since the loss to Ohio State on October 29th. Is the last time the Nittany Lions has lost from last year to this year. The Nittany Lions had dominated Iowa 31-0 last week and gave up just 76 yards, the fewest they ever allowed in a Big Ten game. It's also the lowest total of any team in the nation has given up against a Power 5 opponent this year. Northwestern rallied from 21 down last week to beat Minnesota 37-34 in overtime on a Ben Bryant 25-yard touchdown pass to Charlie McGatty. It was the Wildcats' second win in 3 games after losing 12 in a row. That's what's at stake right now for Penn State. They can't take Northwestern lightly. Northwestern's got that confidence coming from 21 points, but Minnesota is not Penn State's defense. So can't take a barometer on that, how that's going to play out. What we can see is Penn State's quarterback, Drew Eller. Eller is trying for the Big Ten lead with 8 touchdowns after throwing 4 against Iowa. He has completed 84 of 125 passes for 903 yards without an interception. Now, you know how to announce the jinx are. Just said that he might throw about 5 or 6 interceptions a day. We know. Northwestern wide receiver Bryce Kurtz, the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week, set career high against Minnesota with 10 catches, 215 yards in his first 2 touchdowns. The senior had 80-yard TD late in the first half and a 17-yarder early in the fourth quarter. Kurtz leads the Big Ten in receiving at 91.3 yards per game. So how does Penn State take him away?
That defense, man, Penn State defense is kind of reminiscent of the 90s defense, the Nittany Lions, the days of the Kerry Collins type defense. It kind of reminds me of that. If they can go out there and be that way, hit them in their mouth and be stingy on those 2nd and 7s and those 3rd and 4s, that is going to be a long day afternoon for Northwestern.
Yeah, if you look at it this way here, too, Penn State is coming off its first shutout against the top 25 team since blanking number 18, Texas A&M, 24-0 in the Alamo Dome. In the Alamo Bowl on December 28, 1999, Penn State leads the country in total defense with 219.5 yards per game, passing 138 turnovers, margins of -11, and time of possession is 37 minutes and 6 seconds. The Nittany Lions are tied with the Florida with the fewest first downs allowed, 46, tied for second in takeaways, 11. Penn State has scored 30 or more points in 11 straight games. But Northwestern hasn't beaten a ranked team 6 or higher since knocking off number 6 Michigan on October 5th, 1996. That's a long time, man.
You ain't lying.
That's a long time
That
for
is
both.
long time.
So, can we see an upset today?
It sounds good on paper, but if reality comes into play here and the reality is an actual person, no. I see Penn State winning this game, not convincingly, but I think it's a win for the Nittany Lions. It's a step in the right direction. And the Big Ten needs this. They need Penn State to be good. They need them to be real good.
So, I got Penn State. You got Penn State? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
All right. Be on that one. All right, my friend. Move right along here today. We're moving right along here. Our next game will be the number 8 team in the nation, USC Trojan. And Colorado Buffalo is your next game on the All Sports, All Plays College Breakdown. What do we see for this game today? Do we see another blowout by a ranked team over Colorado like we did last week in Oregon?
I would have thought the same thing, but I saw the hiccup in the Arizona State game that USC had last week. USC won the game, but the way that offense was kind of stagnant a little bit against Arizona State, and if Colorado can pick up on that, on how to give Caleb hiccups, I think that right there could be the mitigating factor of the game. I know there's questions and issues on the secondary side for Colorado, but if they can maintain up front, and they're not good at stopping the run, I think they're last at attacking the run and last in the run. If they could switch that up this game, it could be a lot closer for Colorado and maybe cause a little action with the bookies in Vegas as well.
So we got that. So we got that situation there. So yeah, I picked up on that a little bit of attention there too. I get that.
Right.
I think you could do a lot of. I think you can do a lot of. I think you can do a lot of damage with that. But how do they roll? How do they roll their coverage? Because now you got Lord, who's been running the football kind of effectively, 39 carries for 349 yards so far and 2 touchdowns this season. But they got to take away their top wide receiver in Washington at 10 receptions, 278 yards, and 4 touchdowns. But with the safety being doubtful, starting safety for Colorado, how do they next man up? So they could be without Travis Hunter today too.
I think Travis come back in like 3 weeks. But the thing about Caleb Williams and USC, I think this is their first test, Colorado, in prime time, their first true dual threat quarterback that they're facing. And that could be playing into the hands because Deion likes quarterbacks that run. You know, it's, to me, if you're a defensive-minded coach, you like that because you know what to look for. That's the telltale sign giveaway. You know, from the formation, the preset, you know all of that, what's coming and what's about to happen. So if the defense is ready for that, I think it'd be more of a chess match, if that even sounds correct, even to use in this scenario with USC and Colorado. But defensively, I know the challenges are there for Colorado. But I think the key for Colorado to stay in this game, compete in this game, and have the chance to win is with the running game. They must establish the run. If Colorado can do that, it can really shake up the difference maker. And with Utah losing last night, USC really needs this win. So this changes the whole complexity of the game based on what happened last night. I think before last night's game, USC had one game plan, but now it has changed and shifted. So now they're going to try to put their boot and foot in Colorado to make it look good for the judges out there.
And if you look at this, you talk about Williams and Sanders, the two quarterbacks. Williams is 75 out of 101 attempts, 75 completions out of 101 with 1,200 yards and 15 touchdowns. Sanders is 130 completions out of 169 attempts, 1,410 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So that's a little bit of a comparison of the quarterback situation there, too.
The Heisman people are watching. The He Is Man people are watching.
But also, you got to watch out for Weaver, the X factor for wide receiver for Colorado with 34 receptions, 461 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He is the speedster. He is the game breaker for Colorado right now since Travis Hunter is out there for another 3 weeks maybe.
I think that little small running back for Colorado is the X of the game because he runs behind the blockers better than anybody since the days of Barry Sanders and Thermal Thomas. You call him Thermal, I call him Thermal. He knows how to run behind the blockers. If they pick that up early and can sustain that with a even keel on the run and passing game, minimize the mistakes, and those personal foul penalties need to stop. I can see Colorado hanging in this game. But what I saw from Caleb last weekend, if that same USC team shows up, Colorado's going to win this game.
Yeah,
they're going to win this game.
We look at some of the stats here. I mean, USC's offense is averaging 569 yards, 0.3 a game. Colorado's averaging 409 yards per game. If you want to break that down even the passing attack for USC is 377.3 per game passing, 192 yards rushing. Colorado's 353 yards, 0.3 yards passing, only 55 yards, 0.8 rushing. That's the breakdown of that. But Colorado's defense has given up 475 yards, 0.8 per game to 364.5 for USC. You want to break that numbers down, Colorado is giving up 206.5 yards rushing per game to 269.3 yards passing. And if you want to break that down for USC, 364.5 is 228 passing, 136 yards, 0.5 rushing. And you said that Arizona State gave them a barometer, gave up 28 points to Arizona State. He scored 42. Stanford, they gave up 10 points. And then Nevada gave up 14. But last time they gave up 28 was against San Jose State at the beginning of the season. 56-28 was that score. So how do we see Colorado now? But Colorado looked at Oregon, they only got 6 points against the Ducks. And they gave up 42 points. That was just a total mismatch blitz on that game. Was that game to you? People making surrounding the Lanning's comments and stuff like that, the motivation speech before the game that ESPN showed during the game. Do you see any outlash? Not any uncalled for? Because a lot of people are speculating that was just, trash talking at 101, basically.
Trash talking is a part of the game. I don't care what sport you play. Trash talking is a part of the game. Yes, your kid talk trash. Yes, the coach encourages it. Everybody knows it is in the game. It's a part of the game. It's all about how you respond, how you take it. Now, outside of the sport, I don't like it. You keep the trash talking on the field. I still go back to my original statement in that game that Travis got hurt. I blame the officiating because the hits had a little extra mustard on there early in the game, and the referee should have took control of that game early and got both coaches at the middle of the field and said, look, let's stop it. Travis will be playing this game. It'll change the whole outlook and perception of this game. But that's over. We're here right now. I don't think the trash talking is going to be as bad as it was in the past 2 games for Colorado because USC is a different breed. Not saying they're better than anybody else, but let's face it, that's SoCal. That's USC. We know who they are. But what I saw last week If USC comes out and plays anyway closely the way they did offensively, I think Prime and the defensive side of Colorado are going to see that as a stepping stone. And maybe let's slow the game down a little bit. Colorado, when you have the ball, when you have the advantage on the defensive side, which I think they're going to have that. I really do. I don't think USC is that crisp on offense as we thought they were after what I saw last week.
Yeah, if you look at some of the things here, if you look at this, Lincoln Riley says he's done a great job with the roster, says Lincoln Riley, whose program is 16-0 all time against the Buffaloes. He seems to be very genuine in his approach. The combination of Riley and Williams certainly restores the lackluster to the Trojans, who are 15-3 overall the last two seasons. Trojan remains among the chase this season. Williams, the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, is picking up right where he left off, too, throwing for 1,200 yards, 15 touchdowns with no interception this season. He has certainly caught the attention of Deion Sanders. The kid is a playmaker, Sanders says. He is the epitome of class, confidence, and what he brings to the table. He makes plays. He makes the team go. He's a handful. Ditto for Shakur Sanders. He throws for 1,410 yards, 11 touchdowns, and with one pick despite under constant duress. He's been sacked 22 times this season. How does Colorado's offensive line protect Shakur Sanders? Because if he keeps taking hits like he's doing, he might not be around for the rest of the season.
As Thomas Jefferson Patrick Brady told him, and his own daddy, and he told himself, he's holding on to the ball way too long. Pop, pop, release. Pop, pop, release. Pop, pop, go. He's doing the pop, 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 go. Pop, 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 go. He got to. It's all about the sound. It's about the technique, and it's about the window of opportunity. And he's missing that because the read is not there. You have to put in your mindset, if I don't see this, the primary, your backup, your check down, go. And that's where he's having that mechanism glitch at right there. If he fixed that, you can't fix that in practice. That's an in-game fix. Because you can't do what, kids, in practice? Hit the quarterback. So it has to be an in-game fix to me. It has to be a game-time speed situation. Unless they got the VR on them or the AI glasses, that's the only way I can see it being fixed in practice.
Yeah, and if you look at this, we talk about Travis Hunter, the two-way star, he's out. Buffalo may also be missing safety Shiloh Sanders, Shakur's older brother, who made a hospital visit to get checked out following the Oregon game. The Buffaloes have been in this spot before. They were a 3-touchdown underdog to TCU in the opener before pulling a 45-42 win. We're not on a seesaw, Deion Sanders says. We rock steady. That's the comment from Deion Sanders there. If we look at something like this, he says he's happy for Jerry that his son is doing his thing. Deion says Colorado is looking to end a 19 skid against a team ranked in the AP top 10. According to Pac-12 research, the Buffalo's last win against such an opponent was September 29th, 2007. When they beat number 3 Oklahoma 27-24 in Boulder. This game is in Folsom Stadium in Boulder. Colorado is not on the road. Deion Sanders is at home this time against a number 8 USC. Who you got for the win today?
Oh, man. I would love to see Colorado win this game. I just don't think they have enough offensive firepower to keep up with USC. But if that same USC team shows up from last week, Colorado can win. I tell you what. Give me Colorado winning this game.
You're going to take Colorado. I'm taking USC.
Yeah, I'm going to take Colorado.
I'm going to take USC. You got Colorado. Housekeeping.
You taking USC?
I'm taking USC on one. Wow, let's put the color in. Sorry about this. I'm doing a little bit of housekeeping on our chart here. Got to keep everybody in line. You don't keep everybody in line, we go haywire. You don't want to go haywire.
Haywire Saturday.
Yeah.
We
All right,
encourage
my
people to have
friend.
1835.
We're going to go to the third game here. The third game features your number 22 Florida Gators versus the Kentucky Wildcats in Lexington, Kentucky. My friend, your team is playing very well football. But how can they get better?
I don't want to get too big-headed, too cocky. I'm still have my questions and concern about this coach and the offensive play calling. We're playing in Kroger Field. It's Kentucky. It's not basketball, it's football. I watched the Swamp this week finally, so I got that going on in my mindset. Tebow's gone. The mentality, that type of Florida football Gator team, playing for what's on the line, understanding who you play for, what school and university. They don't have that. So I'm thinking that this game has to be the game that dog comes out of my Gators, so to speak. We need this win. But every time we play Kentucky, it's one of those games where a squirrel, an ox, an owl, and a cow could all be seen at this game because strange shit gonna happen. I just feel like it's one of those games. Something weird is gonna happen. Something that's never happened before 11 o'clock on the Saturday between the matchup of Florida and Kentucky. But if we can understand the game, take care of the ball, and score when we're in that red zone each and every time instead of a field goal, I think this could be a game we can put 50 points on the board.
All right, you got the Wisconsin transfer in Moretz. Is 84 out of 108 yards, 951 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. But you're going against Devon Ellery, 73 out of 123, 1,060 yards, 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. North Carolina State, wish he was still at North Carolina State from that worst performance they had last night against Louisville and Brandon Armstrong. But Larry is now at Kentucky. Kentucky Davis, the running back, is 50 carries, 314 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And Etienne is 49 carries for 329 yards and 2 touchdowns. So you got 2 running backs who over 300 yards in this ball game so far this season. Both of them got 5. One's got 5 touchdowns. The other one's got 2. How does both teams stop each other's running backs today?
Put people in the box. You got to hit them in the mouth, because that's the one thing about this matchup right here. I think both teams are going to try to ground it out early to establish something to open up the passing game. But they're both kind of, I want to say, a little hard-headed when understanding, hey, this is not working, let's switch it up. And if they get to that point, I think we can see some fun football again. But in the beginning, I think they're both going to try to establish the run early.
Yeah, I want to look at it this way here. Let's talk about your stud wide receiver in Pearsall. 26 reception, 362 yards, and 1 touchdown. They're going up against another wide receiver in Robinson, who's got 16 reception, 283 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So let's talk about your stud wide receiver. What makes him so special from last year to this year? What do you see improvement of what he did over in the offseason?
He finally looked at his own video and believes the hype. You know, it's one thing people telling you you're a good athlete. You run a good route. You got good hands. But when you actually see it and believe it and can make the necessary adjustments, that right there is called growth to me. And he's getting that he has that growth gene going right now. He understands where he's at. He's understanding the position even more. Now he believes in the position and know that he can do a dig. He can do an out. He can do a butt hook. He can do the fade. He has the hands and the speed and the confidence level that I need as a Florida football Gator.
Yeah, and if we look at it this way, Chris Wavy TV off of YouTube is saying, is this Kentucky team real?
Yeah, but Chris, I'm not saying they're not real. Kentucky plays anybody in the SEC very, very well, but they don't do it for 4 quarters. It's either first half explosiveness or second half the epitome of surprise. If they can put 4 quarters together, this could be a troublesome, problematic game for my Florida Gators. But the way that they're coming into this game with both matchups and both teams in the size-up situation, I think Florida has the advantage.
Hey.
This is not a cakewalk. This is not an easy win for Florida. We got to go out here and play college football. We got to go out here and play Gator football.
And then Chris also from Wave TV says 6+ in the box, Smash Mouth football. Is that what we're going to see? Smash Mouth football today in this ball game.
I got Florida, man.
And Billy Buzz Smith from YouTube, he also says Gators. Matchup predictors got Kentucky 52.3% to 47.7%. So Gators said, yeah, they prediction.
Who are these people?
I don't know. If you're looking at the over and under, Kentucky is favored by 1 point. Over and under is 44. 72 degrees, partly cloudy in Lexington, Kentucky at Kroger Field. Capacity of 61,000.
Ashley Judd not going to be there. If she show up to the damn game, it's going to be some issues. Just stay at the basketball game. Leave football alone.
Yeah, if she shows up in her freaking skippy outfit with no bra on, white T-shirt,
cameraman, where you at? The cameraman on college football Saturday has not been bringing it to me. I think the cameraman in college football got yelled at because I have not got the shot this year. We have not got that girl in the stands or that cheerleader yet. The cameraman, I need y'all to bring it today. You let me down.
Yep, and Florida Gators ranked number 22 in the nation. The 3-1, 1-0 in conference play. University of Kentucky is 4-0 and 1-0 in conference play. Kentucky's coming in on a 4-game winning streak, and since the first loss against Utah, they have now won 3 straight. So, my friend, they played down to their opponent last week in Charlotte, even though they won 22-7, but it didn't look like a great dominating win.
We're crazy.
And Kentucky is coming off a 45-28 win over Vandy, the high school of the SEC, but they did beat Arkansas 35-3. They beat Akron 35-3, and then they beat EKU 28-17, and then they beat Ball State 44-14. So it's not really impressive teams all the way up to that Vandy game, but they did beat Vandy pretty handily, 45-20. They did give up 28 points, so this could be a high-scoring affair. I think it might go over the 44 points in this, unless it's going to be a smash mouth football and both teams' defense takes care of each other's quarterbacks. That's going to be the game. So you got the Gators.
Yeah.
I don't
think it's going to be a blowout. Maybe 21-17, 28-24. But I can. We need this victory.
I got Kentucky winning this game in a very close game, probably about a field goal. I think the final score will be 27-24.
You got Kentucky?
I got Kentucky by 3. 50-yard field goal at the end. Make it dramatic.
If a kid makes a game-winning 50-yard field goal to beat us, I would be pissed. I'm going to Lexington, Kentucky. You show me a college football player make a 50-yard field goal to win the game, I want to see his girlfriend. That kid gonna get more ass. He gonna get ass like boy band ass, like a Backstreet Boy member if he makes a field goal to beat Kentucky. A 50-yarder on a Saturday? Mom, Dad, send Gatorade and lube. Billy's gonna need it.
All right.
A 50-yard field goal. That hurts, Ray.
That hurts.
That hurts
All
right
right
here.
Let's do a little rapid fire real quick to the Clemson game. Then we'll do Clemson. Then we'll take a break after the Clemson game here. All right.
Okay.
Who you got? Texas A&M at Arkansas at 12 o'clock on the SEC channel. Who you got?
I want to see Jimbo throw his hat down and admit to everybody he stole that money. Give me Arkansas.
I got Arkansas also in this ball game. Louisiana at Minnesota. Who you got?
Who was the matchup with Minnesota?
Louisiana.
Give me Minnesota.
I got Minnesota rebounding from the 2 straight losses, North Carolina and to Northwestern. Utah State at UConn. Who you got?
Give me Utah State.
I'm going to take Utah State. UConn don't look pretty shabby right now. Let's break up this game here. This is our next game to break up before commercial break. My friend, let's go to this game here. Clemson, who is now still unranked. They lost to FSU last week on a heartbreaking loss. They're against the Syracuse Orangemen, who is undefeated going up into the Carrier Dome. And Syracuse, New York today, it's called the GMA Wireless Dome. I don't know why they changed the names, but
money. We know money.
Yeah. So, Dino Barbers, if he wins today, does he come off the hot seat?
Yeah, this would be a good win for Syracuse. Syracuse had a couple of shots last year some games they should have won, but they collapsed in the second half, couldn't take care of the ball, crazy penalties, not understanding that in-moment opportunity. If Syracuse can play smart football, because to me, Clemson is the one that got their hand out begging for money right now. They need this win more than anything, or this could be trouble for Dabo going down the road. Believe in the portal. If you believe in the portal, Dabo and Jimbo Fisher would not be in this scenario. I'm going to even throw Brian Kelly in there as well. They're stuck in their old ways. That shit don't work no more. Them days are over. You better come with the new regime or you're going to get left standing behind the line or what? Fired. And your wife looking at you, what are you doing home?
All right. Now, while we're on the Clemson little talk right here real quick, Clemson has now come out and said that they have worked out a deal with the ACC to depart in 2025.
We knew that was coming.
So
here's
now,
the thing. Dabo mad he didn't leave to go get the money like Jimbo did. He didn't leave. He hung around because he wanted to see what the ACC was going to do. And now we know what the ACC is not going to do. I'm out of here. Let's go get more money. Not for the school, but for Dabo.
Now, Clemson is a big blow in football, not so much in basketball. But the big blow could come from the ACC if North Carolina could be on the verge of leaving also with Clemson in 2025.
It's going to really make the ACC look crazy in football.
Now,
basketball, I get it.
There's no word coming out of Duke. If Carolina leaves for basketball purposes, if Carolina leaves the ACC, does Duke follow North Carolina wherever they go to keep that rivalry going? Because you know that's the best rivalry in college basketball.
What is?
Duke and Carolina.
Oh, it's overdone now. But yeah, at one point it had its luster. I get it. Yeah, it's a great rivalry. As a person that used to live in Charlotte, shout out 704. I get it. I've been to several games that they've had. It's not the same, but I get it. It's a tradition. It's a rivalry. It goes through all sports. But I'm ready for a new rivalry.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. It's not fun in football. It's fun in basketball. It's fun in soccer. It's fun in golf. It's fun in lacrosse, but not in football. In football, it's like playing the magnetic football game versus stratomatic football. Old people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, now if you look at the two situations here, Syracuse leading rusher is also their quarterback, who had 46 carries for 316 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Damn.
He also has thrown for 72 completions out of 108, 972 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Klubnik, 96 out of 145, 976 yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. What is going on with Will Shipley? He has 54 carries, 292 yards, and 1 touchdown. Teams are now bottling him up and making Klubnik to beat him, and Klubnik has not shown that he could do that against a top-tier, Power 5 conference team right now. Because if you look at Clemson here, they lost to Duke, lost to FSU. They beat non-Power 5 teams in Charleston Southern 66-17 and FAU 48-14. They have not beat a Power 5 team this year, and that goes all the way back to on December 30th when they lost to Tennessee 31-14. So they have gone they are 0-3 their last 3 games against a Power 5 team. Now they got to go up against Syracuse. Syracuse is 55.5% chance of winning this ball game, 44.9% to Clemson. They were at the GMA Wireless. The over and under, and right now they got Clemson favored by 7 points. Over and under is 53 points. This could be a capacity crowd of 49,057 people there for the home team.
I tell you what.
The outside weather has got nothing to do with it, but they say 65 degrees, partly cloudy in Syracuse, New York. It's going to be in the dome, so the weather does not play a factor. No wind, no nothing. What do you see in this ballgame? Now, this is an interesting point. This same game has come up with Syracuse undefeated, and they lost last year to Clemson in Death Valley, and they started to derail Syracuse season from a prominence going undefeated, and they lost to Clemson. This is going to play out the same way this year.
No, because Clemson has 2 losses. So right now, they're trying to get to 6 wins to get a bowl game. They need more than 6 wins to get a quality bowl game, and that's in Dabo's eyes right now. 2 losses right now this early in the season. It's not even October. They're panicking right now. So I think they're going to try to do things today that's unconventional, non-Clemson-like. They're going to try to run the score up, non-Clemson-like they did the past 2 out of 3 games. But if they could just cause the quarterback of Clemson to get unraveled, put pressure on him, make decisions that are not there, even part of the play calling, I think Syracuse can have an advantage point. I feel an upset coming here.
Yeah, if you look at it this way, too.
Clemson having 2 losses, is that fair to even say they got 2 losses? That's not an upset. They already got 2 losses, not even October. I think Syracuse can win this game. It's a doable game for them.
Yeah, it's Clemson is 2-2, 0-2 in conference play. Syracuse is 4-0. This is their first conference game this year. If you look at both teams, Syracuse offense is better, 507.8 to 474.3 to Clemson. Syracuse is a balanced offense of 294.5 passing, 213 yards, 0.3 rushing. Clemson is 275.3 passing, 199 yards rushing. But the 2 defenses pretty similar. Clemson's a little bit better on defense, 262.8 per game to 274.3. Both teams are giving up over 180.8 for passing, 185.3 for Syracuse and passing. Both teams are giving up 79 yards total rushing against Clemson and 89 rushing against Syracuse. So, the 2 defenses pretty much going to similar each other. So this could be a battle of games, battle of field positions. Who wins the field position? What quarterback can lead their team down? Who do you give advantage at quarterback? Do you give it to Klubnik or do you give it to Schrader for Syracuse?
I don't like the way that Clemson quarterback handles pressure. He panics too much. He does things he shouldn't do. He not only takes the sack, but he runs back even further. Or he throws the ball just up. And that's something you cannot do in college football because they have what the St. Lunatics and Nelly call a tip drill. And that usually ends up to a pick 6. So I like the intellectual style of Syracuse quarterback over Clemson quarterback. I think he handles the pressure a whole lot better. But overall, other than that right there, I got it both like at a B plus at quarterback. And they're pretty even kill. Just that one little situation right there. You put pressure on Clemson quarterback, mistakes are going to happen. He can't run and throw and think. That's too much.
Yeah, that's something you got to look at. We got to look at what Dabo Swinney is going to do here. All righty. So that says, who you taking in this ball game?
Give me Syracuse, man. Give me Orangeman. And Carmelo.
I'm gonna say Clemson's gonna win. It's gonna be a very tight ball game, like we always gonna expect. But I think Clemson's gonna come out at the end of the day, again, their first Power 5 wins. Because right now, I think this is the game that could be defining point for Dino Barbers. He can't get over that hurdle of beating a top tier team, even though Clemson is on a down year this year. It looks like going on a spiral. It didn't matter what DJ Ugalea did last year, because right now is the same situation with Klubnik. Klubnik's doing the same thing that DJ is doing. It's familiar, but I do got Clemson winning this ball game in a very close one. And they break that thing. So when we come back from the All Sports All Place after this commercial break, we're going to do a rapid fire all the way down to number 1, Georgia's coming up. Number 2, Michigan versus Nebraska. And number 24, Kansas. Number 3, Texas will be also coming up. And we'll finish it off with the South Florida and Navy in the next segment. That's all the games that we got coming up, breaking up. We got a fast rapid, so we'll be right back so we can get our breaks in. So stay with us on the All Sports All Place Network. Be right back.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. Behind the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Gracing the field, so type the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
This is the Funks D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at funksdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to the All Sports All Place Network. We're coming back to you live here on the All Sports All Place Network in the social media world. Anthony Price at Linda Alexa says, so interesting. And Anthony Price from YouTube says, what's over the under in that ball game? The over and under is 53 points in that Clemson versus Syracuse game. So we're going to get right back into it here. Rapid fire. UAB at Tulane. Who you got?
Give me UAB. Give me some Trent Dilfer.
Taking UAB. I'm going to take Tulane in that one. South Alabama goes into Harrisonburg, Virginia to play James Madison. Who you got?
Give me James Madison.
Taking the Dukes of James Madison. That game's at 12 o'clock on ESPNU if you want to watch it. Buffalo at Akron at 12 o'clock game on ESPN Plus. Who you got?
Give me Akron.
I'm going to take Akron. I think I'm going to take Buffalo. All righty. Eastern Michigan at Central Michigan at 1:30 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Who you got?
Central Michigan at who?
Eastern Michigan and versus Central Michigan.
Give me Central Michigan.
I'm taking the Central Michigan on that one. Virginia at Boston College at 2 o'clock on the CW Network. Who you got?
That's a rich person game. Like, for real. The Cavaliers and Boston College Eagles, that's a rich person game. Give me Boston College.
Playing at Chestnut Hill, I'm going to take Boston College.
Yes, I love Chestnut. I've been on the hill, baby.
Miami of Ohio at Kent State. Does Kent State get their first win today?
Give me Kent State. I believe in Kent State. I think they can do it.
Kent State, I'm going to take Miami.
I love their gymnastic team, by the way.
Taking Miami of Ohio in that ball game. Arizona State at California. Pac-12 at 3 o'clock.
I like what Arizona State did last week. It was a good effort, but give me Cal because Aaron Rodgers out there.
Cal. I'll take Cal on that one. All right, our game now. We're about to break down number 1 Georgia Bulldogs at 3:30 p.m. This game is on CBS. They're playing the Auburn, the War Eagle Tigers. I don't know where to get the War Eagle from, but they got the War Eagle going on here. This game is up in Auburn at Joe Hurd Stadium, where the toilet paper they win will be flying on the tree today if they do upset number 1 Georgia. Do they have a shot? Do they have a shot? Does Hugh Freeze have a shot of beating number 1 ranked team in the nation?
Auburn gets up for 2 games to me. Bama and UGA. That's it. Them the only two games they get up for. Other than that, they can lay down. They let people walk all over. They do what the odds tell them to do. My good friend Cassie Joe is a huge fan of UGA, that being Georgia. Shout out to Athens, Georgia. I think last week was the first time I see Georgia hit on all cylinders. Other than that, they've been pretty misguided offensively. Their defense going to be there. I think today Georgia's going to show us the Swiss Army knife of college football. They're going to bring out all angles of the game and destroy Auburn. But Auburn is going to try to do something crazy early in the game. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it's a big hit. The trash talking goes way overboard. But the SEC is really good at getting a handle on that early in big rivalry matchups such as this one. UGA shouldn't have any problems since they are the top team. They bring in the most candy to trick-or-treat in Halloween than anybody. But Auburn can be a little stingy. That is War Eagle, and we know what they've done in the past in big games early in October or late in September. They've been on both sides of this before. Yeah, I wouldn't go into this game so cocky if I was Georgia.
If you look at it, if you look at the matchup predictor they got going around here, is 81.9% Georgia, 18.1% Auburn. Right. If you look at the quarterback situation, it looks like a mismatch. Carson Beck's 93 out of 128, 1,184 yards and 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. Thorne is 49 out of 75, 561 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. That's just a total annihilation of the quarterback situation. Right. What is your, after 4 games for Georgia and Carson Beck, what do you think of Carson Beck? How's he incorporating the season? Do you think he's that next year quarterback that they're going to hope for in the future?
I mean, after 4 or 5 dates, you really know that person. Are you into it? You want a 6, 7, 8? Is this relationship going further? I'm still out on what is my role in this relationship early into it. I'm thinking like Kirby Smart is right now. I don't believe that the trust is there at the helm of the quarterback for UGA as in years past at the quarterback position. Not saying that's the key component of UGA trying to repeat as national champion, but they need some type of identity at quarterback, and I don't see it there. I think it's still a trust issue. You know, I'm not just giving you the keys to the car. I'm going to watch you now with my binoculars drive down the street. So that's not trust. I want to give him the keys to the car and go to bed at night. And Georgia is not there yet.
Now, my question is, how does Auburn defense take out Bowers, the tight end, who can line up and be a mismatch all over the field today? I mean, he's got 22 receptions, 256 yards, and 2 touchdowns so far this season in 4 games. So how does Auburn adjust to that to try to take Blake Bowers out of this ballgame?
Well, you got to hit him at the line for one, and I would double cover him the first half of the first quarter to see if we can switch up the play calling, change the whole offensive game plan for UGA. I would not try to match them with speed because of UGA's running game. That'll get you winded and gassed real quick. So I don't want to go there. But I will have next man up and next guy up ready, standing up at attention on the sideline, be ready for that substitution. So they got to make the right subs in. I would say rattle the QB, but then their running game is so good at UGA, it's running back you. There is no, if you do these 3 things, Auburn, you're going to win. I don't think it's that simple. I really don't.
Now, if you look at this thing here, this is going to be the Georgia rush defense against the Auburn's rush offense, who was averaging 197.8 yards rushing. Georgia's only giving up 87 yards rushing right now on the defense. So now, if they can if they taken out Auburn's rush game, Auburn's passing game is not effectively because they only pass for 173.3 yards passing. You have to get up in that number up against Georgia. You got to pass the ball a little bit more than what you like to. You like to try to keep your balance that you got so far this season. They did come off a loss 27-10 against Texas A&M on the 23rd of last week. And so that a little bit shows me that their offense is not is capable of putting 45 points against Sam Houston. But then they only put up 59 against UMass. So Power 5 teams, they only put up 14 points and 10 points. Power 5 team. They played Cal and played Texas A&M. So that says there, Auburn has to stay balanced. If they can stay balanced, that gives Georgia a little bit of a fit on their defensive side. But if Georgia takes away that running game and makes them pass happy, does Georgia's defensive corners start intercepting the ball and playing ball hog defense?
I don't think Auburn is going to have enough time to throw the ball if UGA brings that defensive pressure like they can. I mean, that box, that up front that they got coming, I mean, these are guys 350 plus that can get after you in less than 2 seconds. And that's that dog mentality up front. Georgia's defense and their run game should give you a convincing win. I don't think Auburn is going to have enough time to run the ball. Now, play action could be the Achilles of this situation, but is Auburn that intelligent to read and to know how to take advantage of the play action against UGA's defense? We will see. Time will tell, in the words of Denzel. But keeping it football style and on the field, the speed of that Georgia defense, and I knowing what Kirby is going to do, the only thing is the quarterback for UGA. If you rile him up, they're just going to hand the ball off, and you're not going to win that battle. Special teams could be an advantage point for them. Maybe 7-3 at the end of the first quarter, but I think after that, then Georgia puts their foot on the gas even more. In order for Auburn to win this game, they're going to have to hurt somebody. Somebody got to come out of the game. A key playmaker must come out.
Yeah.
By ejection or what?
If you look at that thing too, if you look at the weather temperature, it's going to be partly cloudy, 79 degrees in Auburn, Alabama. Georgia's favored by 15 points. The over and under is 45. That's by Caesar Sports Books. If you're going to bet on the game there, on that situation. But let's take a little bit of deeper dive in here on this game because
We're going deep.
This is a very interesting thing here. Series lead. Georgia leads in the series 63-56 and 8 ties. That's the record right now. Georgia here, 4 straight home games. The Bulldogs will be looking for a fast start offensively after outscoring their opponents 17-7 in the opening quarter. Auburn is seeking to show progress under first-year head coach Hugh Freeze is back to beat the Bulldogs for the first time in 7 years. That's a little bit of a stake there. 7 years, going back to Peyton Thorne and Robbie Ashford and Holden Gaynor in last week's ugly 27-10 loss at Texas A&M. Auburn threw for a total of 56 yards in the game, completing only 9 out of 26 passes. That's not going to do it today against Georgia. Sorry. Cannot pass the ball 56 yards in a game, 4-quarter game, and have a chance to beat Georgia. Cannot do that. You got to find a way to get your passing attack on track and an attack. That doesn't bode well because the Bulldogs only allow an 11.3 game. Will you surely bring all kinds of pressure and hoping to disrupt whoever is taking the snap. So we don't know between these three, Peyton Thorne, Robbie Ashford, or Holden Gardner, who's going to play as quarterback. It could be a game situation. But right now, Peyton Thorne is leading the Auburn Tigers in passing. But the players to watch is Carson Beck, which is always going to be the key to watch. He will be making his first road start in his career because they have played 4 straight home games. They're on the road for the first time this season. Carson Beck is nearly 73% of his passing, 1,184 yards with 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. But he has largely faced lesser opposition, so it will be interesting to see how he fares in a hostile environment for the first time. That's going to be one of your keys there to watch out for this. Auburn's running back, Jarquez Hunter, remains the most proven player on the Tigers offense, even if he has only modest 143 yards and 1 touchdown in the 3 games he has played in. With the backup, Damari Alston's shoulders out, Hunter could shoulder more of the load, and along with Brian Beatty and Jamari Cobb, an athletic quarterback, Ashford. So, my friend, Auburn's got some situations, some key injuries on their running back situation. Now, how does the running quarterback affect Georgia's defense or any?
I mean, Auburn has had a great run offense in the past. But I just think that dog defense up front, that run game is out. It's done. I think the best way that Auburn can have an opportunity in this game is the play action. But don't give up on the run. Don't give up on your tight end early just because I'm saying that. I'm just saying the tendencies of Uga's defense, just straight running the ball, you have no shot. You got to mix it up a little bit. You got to move some people around, some motion, some confusion. I want to hear the linebackers and the linemen talking back and forth. If you get Georgia doing that, okay, that's that 7-3. If you break it down to points per quarter, which I think is a simplistic game plan for Auburn to have, it can make it a winnable situation. But you go out there and make it a long game plan. Hey, we need to do this. We need to do that. We need to do this. That's too much. Make it really, really simplistic. That's achievable and doable for Auburn, and it makes that SEC style football that we're talking about. And I told you, there's only 2 games that Auburn gets up for. They get up for Bama, and they get up for Uga, especially when Uga is top ranked. And right now, they're the prettiest bitch in the building. Everybody want that ass. They're trying to get that national championship again. Yeah, and for sports history buffs, we kind of want this and need that.
Yeah, if you look at this situation here, Georgia has dominated the Deep South's oldest rivalry in the recent years with 6 straight victories outscoring the Tigers 179-57. Auburn has failed to score more than 14 points in a game since the last victory over Georgia, a 40-17 triumph late in the 2017 regular season. The Bulldogs has been number 1 in the Associated Press since claiming the top spot in October 16, 2022. Georgia has a school record of 21 game winning streak. Bulldogs coach Kirby Smart set a new SEC record for the most victory through his first 100 career games, improving 85-15 with the last week win over UAB. Auburn has forced a league high 8 turnovers through 4 games with a pair of defensive scores.
But can all that sounds good?
Yeah.
All of that sounds good. You got a job, you got a nice apartment, your rent is doable, you got a nice car, your car payments are fine, and you can handle. But can you get to work on time every day is the question. And I don't think Auburn, going into this matchup, has the arsenal of an offense to go in here and shake up Uga. Uga has, I'm telling you, I think Uga is going to bring out the Swiss Army knife of the offensive side. If the quarterback goes in here with just a smidge of hope, because that's the only hiccup to me with Uga this year is the quarterback position. That's it. The rest, they got it in the bag. Defensively, Uga. Special teams, Uga. Running game, Uga. Receiving core, I may give you an even kill. Quarterback, I'm going to give you Auburn. I'm going to give you that. But they're going to need a key injury or a major playmaker to really stand up and stand out.
Now, take all that in consideration and stuff like that. We talk about the dominant defense of Georgia against a pretty much weak offense of Auburn. Now, we talking about Georgia's depth. You talking about the injury. Georgia's got depth. I mean, they got the next man up. They can probably go 3 or 4 deep if they wanted to for the next because of recruiting. So the talent is going to be there for Georgia. But the execution has got to come on. Paper looks good on paper and everything else, but the execution's got to come on that field. And we know the crowd's going to play a big factor at Auburn. It's going to be over 87,000 people.
Give Auburn Tigers.
And Auburn is looking because they're getting the tradition back, throwing toilet paper on the tree if they win. So that's going to be a little bit of inspiration on their players too and their fans. So does the crowd really affect Georgia a lot in this ball game, and especially to the quarterback Carson Beck, because it's his first true road game, and it's going to be in a hostile environment at Clemson, at Auburn. I'm sorry. So,
War Eagle is going to be War Eagle. Auburn's going to be Auburn. But for the fans to be a 12th man, so to speak, sorry, A&M, to be a 12th man and be effective, it really depends on the score at the end of the first quarter and going into halftime. Are we in this game or are we going to the parking lot? We parking lot pimping early. It all depends on that defensive Auburn and what they do with the ball. Minimize the mistakes and capitalize on opportunities. That's the keys to victory right there. But not everybody can understand it and do that. And that's where we're at in this matchup. It's a great matchup. It's a dangerous matchup because, again, Auburn stands up and gets ready for two teams each and every year. That being Bama and that being UGA, especially when they're ranked and everything is on the line.
Oh, you taking Georgia on this one?
I have to take Georgia. I have to.
I got Georgia.
I would love to see breaking news, an in-game situation. Now, let Auburn field goal kicker kick a 52-yard field goal to beat UGA. This kid is getting boy band ass for the rest of his life. If he has a girlfriend, buy Susie.
All right, Mike.
Get by Sheila. He's moving on to bigger and better things now.
Put the wrong.
Anybody makes a 50-yard field goal to win in college football, you're taken care of. You're taken care of.
Now we're right. Had the wrong game.
Who you got winning this?
I got Georgia. I don't think it's gonna be close. Not like what you said.
I still want to see that partner words and the expression. I want to see that pounding that UGA can deliver to a team. And they haven't done it yet. They haven't put their foot up in nobody yet.
I see Billy Buzz from YouTube said this will make 8 years. He also said they clocking in late for sure.
Thanks, Billy. Appreciate it. ASAP.
All right,
let's
move right along here. Let's move to your khaki pants head coach, Jim Harbaugh, because my Dre likes to call him khaki pants because he likes wearing a lot of khakis.
Khaki pants.
And Michigan, number 2, Michigan Wolverines go into Lincoln, Nebraska to play the Nebraska Cornhuskers, where Nebraska won last week. So what is your take in this first matchup between Harbaugh and Matt Rule?
Why do coaches get fired and think they should go somewhere else? Think they can make a change? You were let go for a reason. Miscommunication. You didn't get the coaches that you wanted. You didn't get the players that you wanted. You go into a program such as Nebraska. There's nothing on the line here with Nebraska. The days of the black shirts are gone. There's no true leadership. They look lost out there. It's like they don't know they're playing college football. On the other side, with Captain Khaki Pants in Michigan, I think the eye of the prize is better. I think his vision a little bit more clear. Maybe the suspension helped. Maybe they help to realize and understand the whole situation and the opportunity that Michigan is in right now. I think Michigan they're beyond the driver's seat. They're controlling the music. They're picking the route to take. And if they win this game, it's not going to be a big ordeal. I think it's the way they win the game. It has to be a beatdown.
It has to be a beatdown. That's what you're saying.
It has to be a beatdown. Yeah.
Now you talk about
a bludgeon Lincoln.
And you made some interesting comment there. Let's take a little bit here. You said Matt Rule, he got fired from the Carolina Panthers. It was totally different. I mean, he's a great college coach. I mean, look at what he did at Baylor.
Why?
Look at what he
Why
did
is he
at
a great
Temple.
college coach?
Because, I mean, it takes 2 years for him. Really, the first year, if you look at his record in college football, when he was at Temple, it took him 2 years. Second year, the team was better. Baylor, he turned Baylor totally around from a misfit to what they were at the beginning.
There was Art's program at Baylor. Art had already instilled that.
I understand that, but look what he took over. He took over a program that was losing football game, even though Art was there. But they had a losing record when Matt Rule took over. But in the second year, Matt Rule took them straight up to a Big Ten competitor. Every year, every place that Matt Rule has been, besides the Carolina Panthers, because it's NFL, I don't think he was a great NFL coach. He got fired for that. But I think second year we will see, because the second year has always been the promising year for at a school. It's always been the second year for Matt Rule in college football.
Does
Always
he
been
believe in the portal?
I don't know. Time will tell. I mean, he had to go to the portal to get some of their players this year. I mean, we don't know what his mentality is. But today, I think this is going to be a totally different animal because I think Michigan's won something. I think Michigan was missing that national championship game. They've been in this number 2 spot the last 3 years now, and they have not got to that. They have not got to that promised land of getting that national championship. Got knocked out in the playoffs. I think Michigan this year is more focused. I think Spencer could help Jim Harbaugh to watch what his team was doing while he was on the sideline. If he did pay attention to that games, we don't know what happened in the locker room. If he was in the locker room, at halftime, try to make some adjustment while he was not on the sidelines, we don't know that. But we know that the fact that the way he comes in, the way he looks to run that football, and Crum is that best running back. McCarthy is starting to come in his own now since he has nobody looking over his back and since McNamara is gone. So,
correct.
So now the team is more focused because you have no quarterback situation because last 2 years they had a quarterback situation was McCarthy was McCarra left. McCarthy's the guy now. He has thrown for 71 out of 89 yards, 71 out of 89 attempts. 915 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. But look at Crum, 58 carries, 351 yards, and 8 touchdowns. He is the big playmaker for Michigan. How does Nebraska take him away first? Because right now you got to force McCarthy to be the guy to beat you. And if you can't do that and Crum does that running game, look out for Wilson because Wilson's got 15 receptions, 268 yards, and 6 touchdowns for the wide receiver spot, leading the wide receiver for Michigan. But Michigan right now has to take effect. If they want to get to that national championship, they cannot have a hiccup. And usually one of these games could be a hiccup if they're still looking ahead to that last game against Ohio State. Because that game is looming. How does Jim Harbaugh keep his focus going into Lincoln, Nebraska, even though Lincoln, Nebraska has not been a home field advantage for Nebraska in quite a while?
Right.
But it's still
Since
that
the Reagan administration.
But it's still that style of play. They still sell out the games. I mean, it doesn't matter how bad Nebraska is. They always sell out because there ain't nothing else to do in the Corn State besides go to football games. So,
hey, if you have never chucked some corn before, don't knock it till you try it.
Hey,
right? You made a great point right there.
My dad raised corn and all that stuff. So I was a farmer's kid. So I know about chucking corn, shelling it, and all that stuff, picking butter beans. I tell you a little quick story. I can tell you a little quick story. My dad had a garden. The rows were almost a mile long, and we had to pick it. We got there at 4:30 in the morning. At 5 o'clock, we started picking till about 9. Then we had to go home and shell everything. So I know how about working the garden. So that's not the point. We got to get back to football now. The football situation here is what does Michigan have to do to not have a letdown today?
You made some great points right there about Michigan, what the overall goal and situation is, the letdown of the national championship. We know what Captain Khaki Pants wants. We know what Michigan wants. We know what they're eyeing their prize on. But you can't get to the point where you're thinking too far ahead instead of completing the mission right here. They're looking at the Ohio State game. They're looking at the Penn State game. They're looking down the road. They could slip up today by not paying attention to the Cornhuskers. And the way that could happen, if they put the ball in the game in the hands of the passing game for Michigan, instead of believing in the running game, going at your strong side, your skill set, what you know how to do to complete the mission of the game, to dot the I in Michigan, run the ball. And the defense gets hungry off the offense success. If they keep that going, and Michigan needs points in a convincing win early, but if it's crazy like 14-10 at halftime, questions are going to be answered. I'm gonna need some questions answered. What's going on with Michigan? Is it the play calling? Is it the fact you're looking too far ahead? We know what's coming up in the month of October. Dome. But you still got to close out September in a convincing way. We've already talked about the colleges and universities with 2 losses, not even October yet. Michigan cannot afford to have a loss right now or a letdown game against Nebraska today. But in the same sense of mind, that running game really needs to come alive with Michigan. Show it off to the world, show it off to the country. Your girl got a fat ass, show it off. Get on out there, girl. Yoga pants Saturday. That's what I want to see from Michigan offense. Get out there and show it off. Don't be afraid to show it off. If you got it, stun it.
And
but the hiccup is with the passing game.
And I feel you, because this is what I look at in Nebraska right now. If you look at the numbers here, Nebraska defense is giving up 298 yards, but most of that is coming from the pass. The Russian defense is only giving up 46.3. Does that hold up today against Michigan and Corum? Corum is a better running back than anybody in the country right now because he's fast. He can run with power. He can run to the outside. He's a dual threat. He can pass and catch and receive everything else out of the backfield. They do a lot of things with him, but he can also play all 3 downs. And when they change him out, it's not really because he needs a rest. So that's the only time he can play all 3 downs. Does that 46.3 yards rushing on that given up by the Nebraska defense this year, does that hold up today?
Yeah, that's motivation for a defense. That is, you're doing better than other against the run. That speaks volumes when you're trying to compare the two against the nation. We know college football, when it comes to motivation, they're into the numbers, whether offensively or defensively. They get a rise out of the occasion. And you show a defense, this is where we're at. You put that on the board, and they all buy into the program. We can do better, coach. We understand, coach. They're good at keeping their hands to themselves, meaning minimizing the penalties. That's my key in big matchup games or a situation the team should win this game before it's even played. Let's face it, Michigan just scored 3 touchdowns against Nebraska, if anybody is watching. We know that based on this matchup and what Nebraska is bringing to the table. But in the world of college football, in the world of young college athletes, they make mistakes the night before. They're looking ahead. They're looking at the Ohio State game. They're looking at the Penn State game. But if they forget about this matchup right here, it could be a problem. But I don't see the defense letting up because the defense is all into winning the national championship. They're all in. They're locked in.
Yeah, if you look at this thing here, Nebraska's coming off of 2 straight wins since the last loss came against Colorado, 36-14. They have scored 35-11 against NIU. They have scored 28-14 against Louisiana Tech the last 2 games there. But if you look at Michigan in the last 2 games, they beat Bowling Green 31-6. They beat Rutgers 31-7. The last 3 weeks, actually, since the start of the season, they only given up 3 points, 7 points, 6 points, and 7 points.
Right. And they played in front of Daddy last weekend for the first time because he off suspension.
Now, do they give up a double-figure score against Nebraska today?
See, that's the challenge. You already challenge him on the rushing yards per game aspect, and now you challenge him on double digit. So the defensive coordinator has already told Captain Khaki Pants, we know what we're going to do defensively. We got this side of the ball. I think that defense is hungrier than I've ever seen in a long time. Price is 97, 98, the days of Brian Greason. That's the last time I've seen that defense this hungry because they look good. They can get after the ball.
Well, you got number 1 Georgia against Auburn and the number 2 Michigan playing at the same time. 3:30. One's on CBS. This one's on Fox Sports. And right now they're only giving 87.1% for Michigan, 12.9% for Nebraska to win this game today. Michigan's favored by 17.5 points. Over and under is 40 points.
Chance, Coach.
Yeah, and the over and under is 40 points in this ball game. That's also by the Caesars Sports Book.
The over-under is what?
40 points.
40 points for the over-under?
Yeah.
I got to call my bookie.
Got your red phone with you today?
I got to get the phone. I'm getting it after the break.
Okay. All right. So the capacity crowd is 85,458 people in this ball game. So who you got in this game going into this?
Give me Michigan and Captain Khaki Pants.
I'm taking Michigan also in this ball game. Our next game we're going to go up to our game number 7 today will be.
Hold on. That's too. Let me call this bet in right now. Hold on. Let me get this bet in.
All right, Dre's got to get his bat phone there. The red bat phone.
Hello?
Call him Batman.
Hakeem, let me get that Michigan game. Let me get that over under. Yeah. Give me 2 stacks. All right. Gotcha.
All righty. So moving right along here. Lost my train of thought. My bat phone just stressed me out.
Hello, TikTok. TikTok.
All right. Number 24, Kansas versus number 3, Texas. Kansas comes in 4-0, 1-0 in the Big 12. Texas comes in 4-0, 1-0 in the Big 12. Number 3, number 24. Kansas just got ranked this week. So welcome to the rank. Welcome to Texas. You got to go to Austin for your reward to be in the top 25 this week.
I love me some Austin, Texas. Hello,
EKR Texas Memorial Stadium is the site in Austin, Texas. It's going to be 87 degrees. It's going to be sunshine, no clouds in the sky at game time situation. Texas is favored by 16 points, over and under 61 in this game. And we're going to go into the numbers of this ball game right now.
Break them down.
The matchup predicted. Listen to this. The matchup predictor is giving 93.4% for Texas to win to 6.6% chance for Kansas to go into upset number 3, Texas.
I got to hit the button on this one, man. I feel upset right here. I feel as though this is not the basketball game. Sorry, Kevin Garnett. This is not Kansas basketball playing Texas basketball. Kansas football program has come a long way in the past 5 years, right or wrong.
Yeah, it's come a long way.
We're actually looking at Kansas Jayhawks football program. Not the basketball program, the volleyball or the soccer, but the football program. To me, they have a chance to kick Texas right now when they're down. Texas not playing Texas football. They still mad that the baby daddy left. They're still mad about that shit. Kansas can get them. I feel an upset here in this game, Ray. Kansas has come a long way in football to me. A long way. At 2 programs in football I never thought I would look at like, wow, that's Kansas and Duke. And we'll get to that Duke game in a minute. But this Kansas team, something special in football.
I mean, if you really want to look at it, what would they call basketball school was Kansas, Duke, and North Carolina. They're all undefeated in football.
They're all in football.
Yeah.
What is going on?
All undefeated in football right now.
Kansas, Duke, and Texas and Carolina are all undefeated in football.
Yep.
It's a basketball school.
Yeah. Kansas, Carolina, and Duke all considered basketball schools, all undefeated.
So you mean to tell me he can change? Okay.
So
she doesn't cheat anymore. Okay.
If you look at this situation here, Kansas coming off a big win against BYU, 38-27. Texas coming off the win against Baylor and Waco, 38-6 in that ball game. If you look at it, Kansas is very well balanced on the offensive side, 463.0 yards to 245.3 yards rushing, passing, 217.8 rushing. Texas also, you look at 277 passing, 155.8 yards rushing for it, giving them a total of 432.8 per game. But the 2 defenses are pretty much close. Kansas defense is only giving up 296.8 yards allowed, 298.5 for Texas. But passing is 203.8 for Kansas to 211.3 for passing allowed for Texas defense. But here's what gets you. 93 yards rushing is given up by Kansas defense to 87.3 yards rushing given up by Texas. So the defensive battle is going to be close as you expected. This could be a smash mouth football. Which team is going to get the running game going effectively? against their defense.
That's the thing. They both like to throw the ball. They both like to throw the ball, and they both look good. I think the advantage point is on Texas. They got a little bit more sexy play, wiggle room at the slot receiver position. With the run game, I like the RPO style that Kansas has shown they can do, but will they stick with it? When you have a winnable formation, the tendencies tend to stick right there. They don't want to go outside of the box. So I think Kansas, for as the game plan matchup from the defensive side for Texas, I think it's a little bit more easier to look at, to navigate, to defend. But if they throw in a little bit more RPOs and some play action to open up that run game up the middle and outside the right tackle, I can see Kansas doing that. But will they go that way? Because they have so much success, Ray, with the passing game. They have so much success with it, especially on the left side. They love to stretch the field. Love it.
Yeah, and Billy Buzz Smith from YouTube says, "Are you really think Kansas will hook them horns?"
I do, Billy. I really do, for the simple fact I'd never really paid attention to Kansas football until the last 2 years. And I look at the wins they've had and the losses. And I look at the lesson that they learned from the losses and what they learned from the wins, what they do the following week. They have done their homework. They comprehend, they understand the assignment. That's what? The sign of a good student right there to me. That's a sign of a good student. As a whole, to me, that is what Kansas football has been. They're not trying to say, hey, we're the best team here. No, they're trying to say, we're trying to establish something here at Kansas. But you're not going to dog walk us.
Now, if you look at
a quality win, but you can barely get out of here.
The three keys of this game here, three players to watch for both teams, is going to be Jason Daniels, the quarterback for Kansas, and Ewers for Texas. Neal, the rushing game for KU, the rushing game from Brooks for Texas. But the most important one is going to be Arnold, the wide receiver for Kansas, and the wide receiver Sanders for Texas. Those two are going to be the key. If those two go off,
one is outside and one is a slot.
Yeah. So that's going to be the question. Can Kansas safety hold up against the slot receiver? Because that's a big mismatch that Texas has had in the last 4 games.
See, I think the turnover issue with Texas could be an issue in the first half. They love to turn the ball over. Red zone opportunity is an issue for Texas. But I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think Kansas has a nasty linebacker that got a little bit of Ray Lewis in him, that he can hit people really hard. And that's what you need. You need that hit in the mouth, and the penalties have to make sense. Because in college football, in the past, 4 weeks, if we count week 0, which is bullshit, look at the penalties. Look at when they happen. And look at the end result of the game. It goes back to discipline. If you don't have discipline, what's going to happen? We're going to lose the game. Or we're going to put ourselves in the situation we shouldn't be in. I don't want a kicker coming in the game on a Saturday trying to win the game. I don't want that for Joey or Todd. I want this to be handled in between the trenches, between the defense and offense. Leave special teams out of this. Unless we're going to kick return or punt return. But I just feel an upset brewing, man. It's just something about the way Texas has played this year. Knowing the history of Texas, they're more concerned about 25 and 26 than 23-24 on the recruiting standpoint. We know what's coming. But I'm talking about now, Texas. So I really think that the Jayhawks can hook them horns.
And look at it this way. This is what it at stakes here. If you look at the series, Texas leads the series 17-4. The matchup of 2 of the last 3 undefeated teams in the Big 12 is another big chance for a program elevating win for Kansas and coach Lance Laporteur. But the Jayhawks stuns the Longhorn in Austin in overtime in 2021 has been on the rise since. It has the first of consecutive games for Texas against ranked opponents. Texas play arch rival Oklahoma next. Now, that's the key, is Texas overlooking Kansas to get that Oklahoma game next week.
Yes. Everybody that has that homecoming matchup, so to speak. Basically, when you're playing a lower-ranking team or a team, you should just wax that ass for the money. We get it. We know teams are looking ahead. Michigan's looking ahead. USC is looking ahead. UGA's looking ahead. Everybody is looking ahead. And if one team could slip up today for looking ahead, everybody worried about payday, but you still got to go to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Damn Friday.
Yeah.
You got to handle the days in hand. And they must handle today's game in order to move ahead.
And some of the stuff I have read on social media, on sports websites and stuff like that when making up this game here, one key thing really is a key to me looking at this